Hello traders, today I'm going to show you a new feature that I've added to Option Stalker. Before I do that, I want to make a couple of points very clear. I've been trading for over 30 years. One thing that's super important is that you constantly learn. Every single trading day is new. There are lots of new techniques that come out, lots of new indicators. In fact, that's why I developed Option Stalker, was so that I could develop my own proprietary indicators. I didn't like what was on the market. I saw better ways of doing things. The other thing that I want to encourage all of you to do is to try and think of different ways to trade and different approaches. Don't be stagnant. What worked 5 years ago might not work now. There might be something much better. So I'm constantly trying to improve the Option Stalker trading platform. I take your feedback. I listen to things that you might want to include. I don't want it to be the same old, same old. Option Stalker does pretty much everything every other platform does, but it has proprietary indicators and searches that you simply will not get anywhere else. And I'm going to show you one tonight that I've added. In the chat room, we've had lots of conversations after hours, and traders have been able to help each other hone their trading skills. Dave Wise is a huge part of our chat room, and he's used this plotting method called Heikin Ashi for quite a few years. Now, I had to integrate it into the platform 10 years ago, so I had to understand the plotting method, but I didn't really use it. It wasn't something that I particularly needed, but Dave has pointed out how it helps him identify pivot points, it helps him identify trend strength, and it also helps him stay in the trade much longer. And this is a problem that a lot of traders had voiced in the chat room, was they said, I just can't seem to stick with my winners long enough. This plotting method actually is helping. Here's a chart of Apple, and I'll show you how to bring up the Heikin Ashi plotting method in Option Stalker. It's this last set of bars. Here you can see normal candlesticks. Everything looks pretty good in here. Nice solid drop with Apple. Forms a base. Nice bounce off the base, and then it gets a little herky-jerky on this rally. Here's how much different it looks with Heikin Ashi. These candles are showing you that exact trend strength. And there's something that's a very powerful pattern, and that is that when the candle has a flat bottom, it shows that the trend strength is very strong. For instance, in here, flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom. You can see how it continues in here. Dojis like this might signal that there's a reversal coming, so we can search for that as well. Now, one of Dave's methods that he's been talking about is that he overlays the 8 EMA, and when the 8 EMA is violated by a tail under body on a bullish trend like this, that might have been an exit point, that would be an exit point right there. Look at how much of that trend you're able to capture. That's one method. You can also look for reversal patterns off of this same Heikin Ashi plotting method. They're pretty easy to spot, and so what I've done is I've integrated them into the searches that we run. The way that it's calculated is it takes the current bar and it also takes calculations from the previous bar. So it smooths everything out so it's not as herky jerky to take a look at. So let's go into custom search, and I'm going to show you some of the new fields that I've added here to help us find this pattern. And you'll notice at the very bottom, I took out capitulation and I took out engulfing. Those actually looked for similar patterns to HA, but I believe that this is a cleaner way for us to find them. So we're going to go in and we're going to take a look at these four. There are two different types of patterns, reversals and continuations. So I broke these into two categories, HA reversal, and this is I-I, HA reversal, I. And I'm going to explain to you what those letters stand for. So let me pull over a screenshot that I made for you, and I'll describe exactly what we're looking for. So HA reversal, I. A reversal, you can imagine, would be a long candle with a flat red top. That is a bearish formation. And you can see it right here. Flat red top followed by a doji. That would be the dash in between the symbol here. So you get long red candle, flat top, doji, green candle with a flat bottom. That signals a reversal pattern. Now, ideally, there are a couple things that I think you should look for in this. This green candle should finish higher than the open of that red candle. That would be fairly important. The other thing that I think you want to keep in mind when you're trading reversals is this is joining a longer term, very bullish uptrend. So you're not picking tops, you're not picking bottoms, you're trying to join this very powerful rally. There's your pattern. Now you get your reversal, and the stock should continue in that direction. For a bearish reversal, I-I, it's exactly the opposite. You've got a stock that's been moving higher. You've got a flat green bottomed candle. You have your doji, and then you have a flat top to the red candle. Notice how the red candle is lower than the open of the green candle, signaling that reversal. Now, these patterns you can look for on a multitude of time frames. So if you wanted to, you could look for this on a 5-minute basis. You could look for it on a 1-hour basis. You could look for it on a daily basis. It really depends on what your trading horizon is, what's your time perspective. If we go down to the next set of reversals, and again, when you look at these, it'll be a little bit easier for you to understand what this search is looking for. So just remember, long candle, doji, long candle. That's why it's I-I. Long candle, dash, long candle. And that's similar down here as well. Now here I've got HA reversal, long, 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 long. So here we're going to be looking for two flat tops, flat red, flat red, flat green, flat green. That's a nice reversal. This is not a common reversal pattern, but it is a very, very strong one. So when you see it, it's usually going to be very good because it's signaling that this is really gaining momentum the other way. And you want to make sure that these candles are higher than the red candle opens. So the second candle close should be higher than the first candle open. And here you can actually see that the red candles are fairly small and these green ones are big. That should also tell you that this is going to be a strong trend reversal. On the bearish side, flat bottom green candles. So we've got flat bottom, flat bottom. Looks like we're doing good here. Everything's working out great. Flat bottom red, flat bottom red. Now we've got a reversal going the other way. So those are your reversal patterns that we're going to be looking for. And again, you can search for them on any time frame. The other pattern that we're going to be looking for is we're going to be looking for continuations. Now these are trend continuations and we want to join the trend. So the patterns that we've got here, I-I. So here we're going to have a flat green bottom followed by a doji and another flat green bottom. So on a stock that's really moving higher, you've got this pause, let's say, and that's what forces that doji, but then boom, boom, boom. Stock gets right back on track. Here you've got an example where you've got a very strong downward trend. Flat bottom red, flat bottom red, flat bottom red, and then you've got a doji in here, but then you get right back on track with another flat top red. So for the red candles, you want the top to be flat. You do not want to have a wick or a tail above the opening. You want it to be flat. And that is what shows you that the downward sloping trend line is very, very strong. The final continuation pattern, and quite honestly, this is my favorite one, and this is probably all that I'll use, and I'm going to show you why in a second. Here we've got HA continuation, II. This is just two consecutive flat bottom green candles. And look at how many of them there are in a row. Well, gee, Pete, why didn't you do HA continuation, I? Because I don't want to have 10 of these in a row, because at some point that trend is going to be exhausted. And I want this search to be as open, unrestricted as possible so that I can bring in as many results as I can. And then, and here's the beauty of it, I can use that search in conjunction with other variables that I like to use for my trading. So here we've got a HA continuation bearish, as you would expect. Flat top red, flat top red, flat top red, all the way down. Those are the patterns that we're going to be looking for. So let's go into the platform. Let's take a look at some of them and let's see what we come up with. Now, I'm not going to go through the prices on the close are a little bit off. You're going to find that these don't exactly perfectly match the patterns when you're searching for these and you click on these. You're going to click on it and we could take a look at a couple of them, especially on the close. The data is a little bit off. We have to calculate backwards for the previous candle, so they're not going to line up on the close, but they should line up on the opening very well. They should line up for all the time frames, 5-minute, whatnot. And if I go into take a look at a HA I-I reversal here, we'll go into the search here, we'll scan for it, and we'll take a look for a 5-minute bullish one on M5, and we'll click on DM and see what that's got. And here you can see, can't count the last candle because it's got to calculate backward. There's your flat bottom, top, bearish. There's your doji. There's your flat bottom green candle. And probably the best thing for us to do is just gonna get used to taking a look at some charts. I can bring up any chart. We could take a look at this analysis and then you can see some of the different formations. So here would be a perfect reversal. You've got flat bottom red, flat top red right here, bearish, doji, flat bottom green. That is signaling that reversal right there. Then you also have flat bottom, flat bottom, flat bottom, all the way up. You've got nice volume coming in. So that would be your reversal pattern right there. And that is your continuation pattern right there. I'm going to take off the 8 EMA. It's toggle on, toggle off. And this is something that you can use for profit taking. So if you got onto this trade right here, the other thing to keep in mind is that if I look at these two candles right here, I can't assume that I'm going to be buying that open because there's a lag. The stock has already made its move. The way that HA is calculated, there's a 5-bar lag. So instead of thinking, well, gee, I could buy this open right here, no, you're probably going to be buying it closer to the top right here. So we'll go through and take a look at a few stocks that came up. We can go into, let's go into heavy buying today because we had a nice, strong market today. And let's just go through some of the charts and let's see if we can visually identify some of these HA patterns that we're going to be finding. And here you've got flat bottom, no doji under that 8 EMA. And there you finally would be getting out of the trade right there. You see how well it keeps you in that trade? Now here you've also got some nice flat bottom green candles coming into play here. Yeah, you'd probably be out there, but you should be back in here when you start getting these. And then it keep you into the trade up until here. QS is a really choppy stock, so we're not going to be focusing on that one too much. Here you've got Goldman Sachs, flat bottom all the way up. You can see you've got your flat bottom green here. You've got your doji here. You've got your flat top red There's a little bit of a reversal coming here. Okay, I need to probably take some profits if I've been long in here. So I've got my flat top red. I've got a doji here, tail under body, tail above body. Got my doji here. Flat bottom green. There's my reversal right in there. So that would be an HA reversal I dash I. And then you get right back on that trend and ride it a little bit higher. There's your 8 EMA, stop out right there. Nice little profit in that trade. Continue to take a look at some popular stocks here. Roku, really strong out of the gate here. You can see all the way up into here. Then it takes a little bit of a breather. But these candles right in here, that's your power. That's what you're going to be looking for, is these flat bottom 2 in a row. That tells me that this stock is really going to go higher. But there's also another variable that I can add to this, and that's what we're going to focus on next. Look at all the other variables that we can add. I'm noticing right here. Look at all that volume. You get these flat bottoms here with the volume and relative strength. Oh, baby. These are some nice searches. Used it today. Fantastic. So I'm going to unmark that, and I'm going to show you what I like the most. Let's go with a 15-minute. Let's go with heavy volume. Let's go with option liquidity of 0 or better. And let's take a look at what we've got here. These are some nice stocks. Let's go through. Now again, these are going to be patterns that set up on the close. Ideally, I would be using this on the open. That's what I'm really interested in. And if I just went with the heavy volume search to see the stocks that were greater than the prior day high, that's what I'm going to do instead. I'm not going to click on this right now. I just want to see some great stocks that we would have been able to catch early in the day using this search. Heavy volume on the open, may not have had heavy volume, so let's keep looking for that volume spike on the open. It could have had heavy volume on the close, and that's why it made that particular list. But there you go, above the prior day's high, long green candles, big volume, really nice trading opportunity right in there. ARKK, I actually traded this one, and I saw the pattern early in the day. Flat bottom, nice volume. Took the trade. I think I made about $1 on that. It was a good trade. Didn't want to stretch it too far. We had a pretty big pullback on the open this morning, so I wanted to be relatively passive. Here you've got a reversal setting up right in here. Didn't quite get. You had flat bottom here, almost a doji, flat top there. There's your pullback. So when you come in here, that perfect I dash I pattern is oftentimes foiled by an I dash dash I. So you get your flat red top here, you get a doji, then you get your flat bottom. And I can add another search. If we find that we're missing a lot of trades, I can change any of the searches that I have. We can, work on different patterns that we really like to find. But there's your reversal. And now the stock is continuing that big rally here. And you can see visually, this was a bullish flag. There's your flagpole, there's your pullback. Now that downward sloping trend line's been violated to the upside, and we've got a reversal pattern. So you want to be looking for stocks that have really, really good strength on a longer term basis and that have temporary weakness, and then you're looking for that continuation. So we'll keep looking at other patterns in here, and there you can see another bullish flag, and there you've got your doji and flat bottom green, but not quite conforming. These are going to be your best bet. We can find these very easily, these flat bottom greens. As you see them, bring up the chart. If you've got heavy volume and the stock is above the prior day's high, you know you've got a winner. So let's go through and we'll take a look. I'm just going to click through these stocks right here, BILI. Really hard, strong out of the gate in here, pulls back, you get some nice action in here. Not very good though. I like consistent, nice, long candles. Again, choppy. When you see a chart like this that's got a lot of the dojis in it, that tells you uncertainty. That also tells you that the strength of the trend is not that great. You can see how it continued to grind higher all day, but you didn't get any big bursts throughout the course of the day. I'm going to keep looking. That's a good one. The more candles that you stack together, especially on the open like this, flat bottom green, flat bottom green, flat bottom green. Now we're 3 bars into the open. You bring up this 5-minute chart. You see this on the heavy volume search right out of the gate, and you see this pattern in here and that big volume. You want to be on this one. It's above the prior day's high. This is a good looking trade. CRWD, nothing to speak of per se today, but last Friday, oh my gosh, this stock was out of control. It was so dang strong the entire day, and that was with the market selling off and selling off for most of the day. So I'll bring that into sight, and you can see you get your big candles right out of the open here. And mind you, the market was down almost the entire day. Overlay the SPY. You can see that's where the market opened, and it just continued to drop and drop and drop until very late in the day. So in this case, you got this stock moving higher, pulls back a little bit with the market. You get your bullish flag formation in there, and then the stock starts to gain traction, and then you would pick it up on heavy volume with 2 consecutive green candles with a flat bottom, and you'd have really nice upside to that trade right in there. So that's how it works. And we'll click through a couple more. We'll see if we can find some other reversals in here and how the HA pattern might have helped us find them. There you've got another one. Everything looks great. Probably take a little profit in there as it starts to come in. But ultimately, you want to get back on to this bullish flag right here, and you get flat bottom, and you still have some decent little upside to that trade. And let's see if we can go into maybe a bearish one today. Not a lot of bearish stocks because the market opened lower and it rallied most of the day. Take a look at FDX. That was a little bit soft today, but it really, dropped early in the day and then it flatlined most of the rest of the day. So not a whole lot going on there, but you can see out of the gate though that you had nice heavy selling right in here. You could have had plenty of opportunities to get on that move with lots of volume on the open. And we'll take a look at maybe a daily chart. Let's go in and see if we can find. It may take me a couple of days to get the dailies working because I need to continually go back and calculate this information. But on FDX, you can see flat top red, flat top red. That is a strong trend downward. That's one that you would want to also look for weakness on a 5-minute basis. So let me show you a search that I think is going to be very effective. I've already shown you on the open. Here's a search you want to be using tomorrow if the market looks like it's going to open higher. 5-minute is a day trading search. On a 5-minute basis, you want to be looking for HA continuation, II, great option liquidity, heavy volume today, stock greater than prior day's high. You can also go in and you can mark relative strength on a daily basis. So you already know going into the day, this stock is strong relative to the market. Ding, 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 ding. Opening bell. Oh, it also has heavy volume. Oh, it's got great option liquidity. Hey, it's above the prior day's high. And guess what? I've got a couple of flat green bottom candles in a row. that stock's going to go higher. That's how you can use it. You can also go in and mark on a daily basis. How about 2 consecutive daily candles with a flat green bottom, so you know that the stock has upward momentum? And now I'm going to try and find a stock that has this going for it and that has 2 consecutive long green candles. So perhaps after running hard the prior couple of days, the stock takes a little bit of a breather on the open. How many times have you thought, I'm keeping my eye on stock XYZ because it's been so dang strong? Market opens gangbusters. S&P futures are up 20 points, and you're looking at the stock and you're like, it's not doing anything today. Well, it probably needed a breather. And then you forget about it. But lo and behold, it just needed the first half hour to kind of gain the bid. And then all of a sudden, you start seeing your consecutive green candles in a row with that flat bottom. This search will help pick that up for you, and it'll be right back on your radar again. So I'm going to see if we've got the daily working yet. Hopefully it's starting to update for us so that we can use it for swing trades. Very, very powerful for swing trades. I'm going to move this off screen. We'll go into a daily chart and we'll take a look at AG. I think is at the top of the list. These stocks want to go higher. You can see flat, 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 flat. Beautiful. Big volume. And that's the search criteria that I used on a swing basis. So regardless, if you're a day trader or a swing trader, it's going to be a very good search for you to use. So we've got stock greater than prior day high, we've got heavy volume today, great option liquidity, and we've got 2 HA continuation bars bullish. So these are the results that are coming up. And I think I'm going to conclude with this. You're going to see some pretty dang good looking charts. Look at that strength. That's what you want. And there would be a continuation that you would pick up right here. On this bar right here, if you ran that search, there's your flat bottom, there's your doji, there's your flat bottom. It just took a little bit of a pause, and now you're right back on track. But you'd be picking it up all along the way on the continuation II. And that's why I like it so much. And it's probably the only one I need to use. I don't need to look for the reversals too much, but there's something else I'm working on that might actually help with those reversals as well. So that's the HA indicator. Put up your 8 EMA, and as long as you got those green candles, you'd be out here. Got 2 flat bottoms. You're back in here. Be riding it up to here. Continue to just flip through a few more of these. That's how it works. Look at those babies run. Look at these stocks. And these are the ones that we're going to be trading. A lot of you have already been trading them because they've been coming up in our searches. This is going to help us find those trades. Each day you see a lot of the same symbols. They seem to go in streaks of about 3 or 4 days. And Mara's been one that we've been on. This is a great little bullish flag that I pointed out to you last week. We had this flagpole here, downward sloping trend line here, flat bottom, flat bottom. You can use technical analysis on these HA candles also. The long tails of a body make it very easy to draw these trend lines, and as soon as they're breached, the stock is gone. I'm excited about this new feature. I hope that you are too. I'm going to continue to add new features. I really want to make this great for all of us. I think this is going to provide us with lots of excellent trading opportunities. So as you're taking a look at it, go through, click some of these different time frames, toy with it, but this is your gem right here. And you may not need anything else but this HA continuation 2 for bullish and bearish trades. That's all I've got for you. I'm going to answer some questions in the chat room. If you're watching this on YouTube, take the 2-week free trial. You'll be able to come in. You'll be able to try Option Stalker free for 2 weeks and see what we're doing in the chat room. Thanks so much, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching this YouTube video. I'm Pete Stolzers and I'm going to keep the trade ideas coming along with lots of education. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notifications so that you never miss another trade. If you like the content, please give it a thumbs up. I've loaded 2 other videos that I think you're really going to enjoy. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.